look at all this snow. It's March 10th. I have never seen this much snow in the 7 years that I've lived in the Okanagan mid-March. This is just crazy. But, you know, we're trying to get as much work done as we can in spite of our situation. We still are 2 weeks ahead. So we've been doing a lot of sterilizing the last couple weeks, and I'll just bring you into the lab and kind of show you that. But you know, we're making the most of the situation, but man, I've just never seen this much snow. Okay, so you know, we've done maybe 1,000 bags or so in this lab right now, and you know, production's looking pretty good. And right now we're just running one of our Flowhood units, and you can see the CO2 in here is just under 800, and we're running everything at room temperature. What's really neat is we're just bringing in cold air right now, and we're running heaters instead of AC, and they're just kicking on as heat is needed. And then the cool air is keeping the lab, you know, really at the right temperature, what we're looking for. So for today, I'm going to be working on lab 1, and I'm going to be fixing our HEPA intake air system. We have just a China cap here. We were using this coarse filter to clean the air, but I took it apart this year, and the motor actually was covered in this really thick dust, and so was the box of the Flowhood. So I had to clean that out, and I'm going to show you how I put that back together today. And then the unit's going to go up here, and we'll stick a pipe just through that hole that'll attach to the Flowhood. And we've come up with a better way to clean the air coming in before it hits the HEPA, and we've designed this filter cage tin box. If you can see that. So that's just going to go right over top of that hole, just up there, and we'll put just a furnace filter through. There's a protected metal grate that will protect the filter, and then we'll just change that as needed. So that's coming up next. I'm going to show you how I took apart the Flowhood, and I'll show you how we put it back together, and we'll get it up there and get it working today, so that lab can be positive pressured and we can start working in there again safely. Because as the bags do produce CO2 as they're growing out, and as we fill that lab, if we're not bringing in fresh air, you know, it's not very safe for me and for my employees. One of the first things I bought for my mushroom business when I started in my house in Penticton in our backyard was a small little Flowhood unit, and we used to use it for our lab, which is in one of our bedrooms. 5 years later, we've been using the same Flowhood as our air intake system in lab 1, but we didn't really have a good coarse filter, and what happened is a lot of dust from outside actually got into the Flowhood unit and kind of mucked up the motor, also destroyed the HEPA. So we had to take apart the motor, actually bring it in, get it serviced, and get new bearings, and I had to buy a new HEPA filter. So for the purpose of today's video, I've actually taken apart this Flowhood unit, and I'm going to put it back together and show you how we do that. Okay, so I have the Flowhood all taken apart, and I'm just going to put the motor back together, and then that will go on top of the Flowhood, and we'll replace the HEPA filter. So I have a brand new HEPA filter still in its box, and you know, there's just some cardboard protecting the filter right now so we don't damage that. And then once this is all put back together, this will go in our lab, and we'll install a new coarse filter and cage that we've just designed out of tin, and that'll go on the outside of the building. And then this pipe will run from this HEPA to the outside of the building, and will pull air through a coarse filter and then to the HEPA filter, and I'm hoping the air will be a lot cleaner this way. So this motor is going to attach to this blower cage, and then on the inside of the blower cage I'll reattach this fan, and then on the outside of this case will be where the fan is spinning. I'm going to attach, I already have this flange that I put some pipe inside, and then this flange is already part of the blower case. So I've taken this off. That's going to go reattach back inside, and we're going to bolt this back onto the cage with some silicone, and then this acts as the intake, which will then channel air into the fan. If you can imagine, just like that. So I'm just going to put this back together, and then we'll reassemble the flow hood and get this in the lab. Okay, so I have the flow hood unit in the lab, and we're just going to get it right up there. So I just had to run to the hardware store to get a filter for that filter cage. That's going to be a 16 by 24 filter. But I also found what's really neat is an idea for my bucket system, for my auto refill water bucket system for our boiler. So I'll just show you that really quick, and then we'll put up that filter cage and finish the flow hood project. So I'm going to be putting a bucket right between these two boilers right here, and then on this post is where I'm going to mount this bucket. And what I found was this collapsible bracket. So what's really neat is this is going to sit right here at whatever height I'm looking for. It can collapse and just get out of the way. So I'll set that, and then I'll use just this bungee that I'll tie around the bucket just to kind of keep everything in place. And got the design kind of worked out what I'm looking to do, I just haven't put it up yet, mostly because it's been freezing outside. So unless I'm going to buy like a pond heater and put this in the bucket, there's really no point in hooking this up right now. But you can see we got the fill valve, a hole below there, and it just kind of gets funneled out. We have a check valve so the water from the boilers can't go into the bucket, and then everything runs into PEX, and we have shut-off valves for each boiler. So you know, the boilers are going to level off together, and then they're going to on demand want to pull water out of this bucket, and then the fill valve will get triggered to turn on when water starts getting put into the system. And then I also have these detachable hoses that will attach to the boiler, and we can you know, take it off when we're not using it, and then this bucket can just sit here independently, and we have a union connected to the attachments if we want to disconnect everything and just kind of leave it there so it's not in our way. So I'm hoping I'll get that together in maybe the next week, and we'll start playing around with that. So I'll show you how this filter box works, how everything fits in, and then I'm just going to get this installed today. So maybe you can just see right here. So there's just an opening on the side here. I'll just get this filter in real quick. Important thing to know is that on these filters they always show you arrows where the airflow is going. So we're going to put the arrow down because air is getting sucked into the flow hood. So that just fits in right there, and that closes. So that'll get mounted, and then you can see there's protected grate just to cover the filter. And then any rain or snow is going to hit this and never touch the filter, and we're going to have just a really nice clean setup that we don't have to worry about the filter getting damaged, and hopefully the air quality coming into the HEPA is very clean, and we should get about 5 years for the life of the HEPA. So we finally got that hooked up, and you should be able to hear that right there, and you can see the filter is in there and everything's set up. And you can hear the motor, the new motor we got serviced is working great, so I'm really happy with that. You know, I think moving forward this design is going to be working great for us, and honestly it's just trial and error until you get that perfect design. So if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button right now, and please share and like these videos with your friends, and check out our 2017 mentorship workshop on our website. I've actually just updated that website, and we're going to be offering a few more spots in September and 2 more spots in October. What's really different that we've changed is that running from September to October there'll be 6 spots, and they're actually going to include accommodation. And really the reason for that is usually we provide accommodation for our farm experience program, and that's only going to run April to August this year. and we're going to try to fill mentorship every week starting September 1st for 6 weeks. And this should be a lot of fun because you're going to get a place to stay on the farm, and it should be really interactive. And I suspect these are going to be some of the more fun and best spots to fill. So I just put that on the website a week ago, and please check that out. That's WTFmushrooms.com, and leave your comments below and I'll try to answer them when I can. All right, we'll talk to you soon.